Hi guys, welcome to your first video progress report. We have Caesar here and he's leashed up, and there's a lot that is going on today, so we're going to try and break everything down as much as possible. So first things first, Caesar was extremely excited to see us, which we're happy about. Nice and, hey guys, how are you doing? He did greet us paws first and repeatedly. We have a feeling that someone is hugging him. If not, if we are wrong, just make sure that nobody is greeting him unless all four paws are on the floor. It's extremely important that nobody is encouraging this behavior. And there's a few other things going on. If there's one thing that we could sum it up is that Caesar has a habit of giving too much, I guess. We need to cultivate a calmer dog, and in order to train him, we need him to stop offering things like that. Jumping, kissing, nipping heels, trying to eat shoes. He does a lot of mouthing at hands, which we know is probably because of a lot of treat delivery. So mostly what we're working on here is teaching him to do less. Not really telling him no. There's not any corrections because he doesn't really know us and he doesn't know any alternatives. So now we're showing him the right way. So right now he is leashed. He was very weirded out by that. We leashed him because we needed to get a hold on, less jumping, less of the crazy greeting. And practicing with him being leashed indoors will be great. He's resistant to it because he expected to go on a walk, and that is not in fact what we're doing. So this is an adjustment for him. But as you can see, he's not resisting the leash much. He does kind of mouth at it a little. And now what Taylor is doing is she is working on desensitizing him from baby talk and being petted and anything that tends to send Caesar over the edge. So he loves a physical affection. This is one of those moments where he's offering a bit too much. And Taylor's going to work on redirecting his behavior.
Come on, you got it. Come on. You almost did. Oh my, don't get up on that one. Okay, good boy. Let's go.
So part of this process is allowing him to figure it out. And I know this looks really messy, but I just sat here and let Taylor redirect him. I'm making sure that I'm not interfering. I'm not yelling at him. Because right now what he's trying to do is he's trying to initiate play. He's like messing with my legs and he's kind of like demanding attention. So I'm not responding. And right now what Taylor's doing is encouraging him to make better choices. You know, Gio's really boring and listening to training is such a better idea. He definitely understands his bed, but he does understand it in a sense that it's kind of like a trick, like he'll just hold it for a second. And then when he's done, he comes off like the Kraken. So we were allowing him to go on that spot, but if he came off, running like the Kraken, we did not reward that. We wanted him to remain calm. So the reason we're starting with calmness, and we'll get into actually greeting him in just a moment, is because you really can't greet a dog that doesn't know how to be greeted. We're not ever going to, stop the jumping if he's not in the correct state of mind. So essentially what we're working on right now is correcting his state of mind. Look, man, if you want to hang out with us, I need you to be a whole lot calmer. You're a big dog. It does not feel good when you paw us in the face or you mouth us. So that's all we're doing is teaching him that everything he's been doing is not going to work anymore. And every time that we click is doing something right. So we're going to go ahead and talk about one behavior you guys can start working on. Everything that you've seen thus far in this video is really just us trainers hammering out some of the tough stuff. But something that you guys can actively work on to help redirect some of that crazy attention is a behavior called touch. So Taylor is presenting her fist with a treat in it, and every time he nudges it with his nose, she's clicking and giving him a reward. Touch is an extremely simple behavior because you can use it to literally guide him in a direction you want him to go without physically manipulating him. As you guys already know, if you put your hands on Caesar, he's going to react. Either he's probably going to get really mouthy and take it as play when you probably don't intend it to be play.
Good boy.
Very good.
Good job.
So right there, Taylor said his name, and then she presented the fist, and he touched it, and what ended up happening is he left my shoes alone. Now, he does not know leave it yet, and we will get to leave it at another session, but this goes ahead and shows you that you can use touch to redirect his attention on things you don't want him paying attention to. You really had to chew that one. So again, touch is really simple. You're going to put a treat, close it into a fist, present it. Don't say anything. This is really key. Let Caesar figure it out. We can call it touch later, but I want you to get in the habit of saying less and doing less and allowing Caesar to really figure his life out. Now, very important with touch, because he is a really excitable dog, if he offers you touch with his teeth, so if he's mouthing really heavy on your hands, do not click and do not give him a treat. The touch you're looking for is him just nosing the treat. Very good. So he is just touching his nose to the treat or to her fist, and that is what's rewarding him.
Good boy.
Very, very important, guys, and I think we had mentioned this just a little bit. Dogs tend to do silly things when they get tired. So we're on a pretty good run here, and now he continues to come back to me. He's falling back on silly puppy behavior, and that's in fact what this is. It's just silly puppy behavior. It's because he's getting tired. So we're going to continue to work this as long as we can. Now, if you start to see this behavior, it's time for you to call it. Give him a bone, give him something else to do. But for us, since we're working in a specific time limit, we're going to make sure that we work through his silly puppy behavior. So now you can see he's just a little bit calmer. He's still Caesar. He's still going to do silly things, but he's not climbing all over me. He's not jumping or trying to, essentially punch Taylor in the face.
Good boy, Caesar.
So he's being a lot better holding those forepaws on the floor. Good. And note all the while, she's not saying a whole lot. She's really just saying his name. Good boy. Praising him.
That's much better. Thank you. I'm trying to tell him that he's not there yet. Almost there. Almost there.
We're really making him work for his rewards, and we're really making him figure it out. So I'm going to stand up and show you guys if I can approach him at all.
Probably not right now.
So I'm not going to stand up now because he's being really silly. This is really important to see. This is not a trainable moment. This is not a moment for you to try and take the next step. If your dog is doing something like this, you've already lost. And if you try to take the next step, you're working, backwards. You don't want to do that. When I approach him, I want to make sure that he can handle it. He's a little more preoccupied. Start shifting my weight.
Caesar.
I'm standing now. Very good. So I'm not going to touch him because he can't handle it right now. But I did just approach him. I just got into his space. He stared at me instead of jumping. Any other time that I have done this, he has tried to get really close to me or meet me first. And we really just want to see less of that. Now I may touch him, or I may pet him, or I may even give him a treat if he offers me a sit. But I'm not going to tell him to sit. The issue sometimes is that we tell our dogs too much, and we never let them figure it out for themselves. Good
Okay, I'll take that.
boy. Good. And because he offered me a nice, clean behavior, I'm going to touch him now. But I'm going to keep it really, really gentle, because we know that Caesar tends to go from 0 to 100 in 0.2 seconds. So I'm not going to pet him like a crazy person, because he's going to turn into a crazy dog. I'm going to be very calm, very deliberate, and then I'm going to remove myself. And when I do, he's probably going to react. So I'm going to go ahead and follow it up with a treat so that he doesn't try to urge me into petting him. Good boy. Good. Good. All right, guys. So the big thing, your big takeaway from this video is you will be practicing touch and practicing having him on leash inside. And if you're doing any of his normal training behaviors, try to say less, do less, and do not reward him unless he is calm. Very, very important. So if he is sit, but that sit is not held very long, or you feel like he's giving you crazy eyes, that's not a good enough sit. We need him to start relaxing a little bit more so that he can approach people a little bit more appropriately. I hope all of this makes sense, and do not hesitate to message us if you have any questions. But as you can see, he's being much calmer now. He's still giving us crazy eyes, but he's doing pretty good. Thanks, guys.